All right, so for today we're going to start talking about divisibility. The thing about divisibility is that it's just really a set of rules that will help you remember things. And they are super helpful when it comes to division problems. That's the biggest place where you're going to find them useful. Some of you will listen to what I'm telling you today and you will get good information and you will be able to use it for the rest of your math career. Some of you will not listen and so you won't get it and you will still struggle. So I just want you to be in that first category of listening and following, because this is not one of those things that you really have a test over. It's one of those things that you keep in your mind from now on. Kind of like you know the multiplication tables. It's the same idea. If you know the rules that I'm going to give you today, they will help make your math work easier. That's your entire goal. So, the definition, a number is divisible by another number if it's a factor of it, or the definition of divisible is, or a factor is, the number divides evenly into it. That's really what we're looking for. So this is helpful. Let's say you were trying to decide if 2 would divide into 534. Well, it would be easy if you know the rule. How many people already know the rule to decide if 2 goes into 534? So you already know some divisibility rules, okay? And we'll talk about more of them in a second, but that's the whole purpose. So if you're trying to figure out if a number goes evenly into another number, it can really help you. It'll help you with reducing fractions. It will help you with division problems. It'll help you with a lot of other things. That's the whole purpose of divisibility rules, okay? These are the set of rules that I have given you, and we're going to practice them in just a second. But I want you to make some notes on your little cutout that you just put in. I didn't want you to have to write all of this. It's way too complicated, a lot of writing. So I just want us to go through them together, and you highlight things that you are not already, bless you, aware of. Okay? So the first one says, a number is divisible by 2. Do you see that? Number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is what? Even. Y'all already knew that one, didn't you? Yeah. Okay, if you didn't know that, now you do. So here's an example. So these are examples, and these would be non-examples. Okay, so the number 8 is an even number. So we know that 2 goes into 3,978. So every even number has a factor of 2, or is divisible by 2. Okay, but then the number 4,975, that ends in a 5. That's not an even number. 2 will not divide evenly into it. Okay? That's kind of how these rules work. All right, so let's look at the number 3. Now, the number 3 is one that I would highlight if I were in your shoes. And if you want to use color, that's even better. You got those crayons? I might even take out a crayon or that marker, and I might mark this one. So 3, a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. Sum means we're going to do what operation? Add. Okay, so sum means we're going to add. So if we add up the digits and that number is divisible by 3, then 3 goes into the whole thing. So if we look at this example, if we add this one, 315, let me go down to the bottom real quick. So if I add 3 plus 1 plus 5. That's what it means when it says add up the digits. You add 3 plus 1 plus 5. You see what I'm talking about? Yes? You with me? Okay. So if I add that up, 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 5 is 9. So if I add 3 plus 1 plus 5, I'm going to get the number 9. So that means that 3 divides evenly into the number 9. Y'all all know that, right? That's an easy one. So then that means also that 3 divides evenly into 315, or 315 is divisible by 3. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Maybe? Yes, kind of. All right, we'll get to some more. All right, let's look at the number 139. So if we add up 1 plus 3 plus 9, what do we get? 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 9 is 13. So because 3 doesn't divide evenly into 13, 3 will not divide evenly into 139. Okay? Making sense? Okay, we'll practice these. Okay? The number 4 is one that's harder to remember than some of the others. 4, because it has actually 2 rules. 4 divides evenly into a number if the last 2 digits form a number that's divisible by 4. So that means that not adding them up, just those last 2 digits are a number that 4 goes into. Or it ends in 2 zeros. If the number ends in 2 zeros, like 100, 4 divides into it. 500, 4 divides into it. 1,000, 4 divides into it. Do you see how all those end in 2 zeros? So 4 divides evenly into those. But it also divides evenly into numbers like this, 8,512, because the last 2 digits are 1 and 2. That's 12. 4 divides evenly into 12, so 4 divides evenly into 8,512. Yes? Yes? Okay. But it doesn't divide into 7,518 because 4 does not divide evenly into 18. Okay? Okay. All right. Now, 5, that's probably one that you've heard for a long time, like 2. If the last digit is a 0 or a 5, 5 divides into it. So 14,975, but not 10,978. Okay? Now, the number 6 is another one I would highlight if I were you. A number is divisible by 6 if both 2 and 3 divide evenly into it. So looking back at the rules, it has to end in an even number because that would mean 2 goes into it. And when we add up the digits, if they're divisible by 3, then 6 goes into it. So 48, it ends in an even number. And if we add 8 plus 4, we get 12. And so 3 divides evenly into 12. So 6 divides evenly into 48. Okay? Not 20, though, because it does end in a 0, which means 2 divides into it. But 3 won't because 2 plus 0 is only 2. And 3 won't divide evenly into 2. Okay? Questions on 6? Okay? 9, highlight 9. That's another one that's a little tricky. 9 is exactly like 3 except for one difference. The sum of the digits has to be divisible by 9. Okay, so not just 3, but 9. So this example, we have 711. That looks like nothing would divide into it, doesn't it? I look at that and go, oh, that one must be prime. Nothing's going to go into that. But if we add 7 plus 1, we get 8. Plus 1, we get 9. That means that because when we add it up, we get 9, it's going to be divisible by 9. Is it also going to be divisible by 3? Blake, what do you think? Yes. How do you know? Because 9. Yeah, because 9 is divisible by 3, or a multiple of 3. Good, I heard some of you say that. That's exactly right. Now, 93, that looks like 9 should go into it. But if we add it, 9 plus 3, we get 12. 9 doesn't go into 12. So this one it doesn't go into.
It's going to be 10 negative 3, or 12.3.
Not 0.3, but close. We'll talk about that later. Okay, and then the number 10, I think y'all know that one, ends in a 0. So we have 15,990 versus 10,536. That one's probably not news to you. Okay. I want you to look at the number 462. Please write 462 in your notebook. And then down below it, here's what I want you to do. So you're going to write 462, then you're going to put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9 down below it. And then you're just going to put yes or no next to each one. Thinking about those rules. I'm going to give you a second to do it, and then we'll talk about it and see if you got it right. The rule for deciding if 2 goes into a number is what? Let's see, I'm going to pick on somebody. Emily, go.
If last number is a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8.
If it's even. So in 462, is the last number even, everybody?
Yes.
Yes. So we know 2 is a yes. How about what's the rule for 3? Johan.
The sum of the digits are divisible by 3.
Okay, so we're going to add 4 plus 6 plus 2. That's how you check that one, okay? 4 plus 6 is
10.
Plus 2 is 12. So 12, does 3 divide evenly into 12?
Yes.
Yes. So because it divides evenly into 12, it also divides evenly into 462. So yes on that one. How about the number 4? What is the rule for 4? Caroline.
If the last two digits form a number divisible by 4 or ends in 2 zeros.
Okay, does it end in 2 zeros? No, so we know that's not it. So all we have to do is look at the 62 and say, does 4 divide evenly into 62? Now, here's where you may need to do a little math if you don't know this in your head. So you could real quickly divide 4 into 62 and see if it goes. 4 goes into 6 one time. That's 4. Subtract 2. 4 doesn't go evenly into 22, so I know it's not going to go. Does that make sense? Okay, so we know that one is a no. 4 is not a factor, or it's not divisible by 4. All right, how about 5? Caleb, can you tell me the rule for 5?
If the last digit is 0 or 5.
Is the last digit 0 or 5?
No.
Nope. So it's no. The rule for 6. Peyton, can you tell me the rule for 6?
If the number is divisible by both 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Is it divisible by 2? Yes. Is it divisible by 3? Yes. Then guess what? It's divisible by 6. So yes. Do you see how the rules help you? You didn't really have to do any math here. You're just looking at the rule, deciding if it works. How about 9? What's the rule for 9? Dasani, what's the rule for 9?
If the sum of the digits is divisible by 9.
So we add them up, which we've already done. If that number is divisible by 9, is it? No, because it's 12. So we know it is not divisible by 9. And how about 10? What's the rule for 10? I'm going to call on Nathan. Can you tell me the rule for 10? Has to end in a 0. Does it end in a 0? No. Nope. So no. So this is what you should have, okay? It is divisible by 2, 3, and 6, but not these others. Okay? All right, so let's talk about the number 900 now that you've had a minute. I'm just going to call on some people at random. You just tell me yes or no, okay? So Peyton Green, is 900 divisible by 2?
Yes.
Yes. How do you know?
Because it ends in a 0.
Because it ends in a 0, which is even. Very good. Let's see. Gareth, is 900 divisible by 3? Remember, this is the example we just did. Not on that paper.
Oh, this one.
Yes. Uh-huh.
No.
What's the rule for 3? Look at the rule for 3 real quick. If you add up the what? Add up the digits, right?
Yeah.
Then, so if we add 9 plus 0 plus 0, what are we going to get? 9. Okay, and then we just have to decide, does 3 divide evenly into 9, does it?
Yes.
Yes. So 900 is divisible by 3. Okay, L, how about 4? Is it divisible by 4?
Yes.
Because it ends in
2 zeros.
2 zeros. 5, let's see. Let's see, who do I want to pick on? Rebecca, is it divisible by 5?
Yes.
Yes, how do you know?
Because if the last digit is 0.
Very good. It ends in a 0. 6, is it divisible by 6, Skylar?
Yes. Because 2 and 3 are both.
Excellent, because it's divisible by 2 and 3. And let's see, Jakai, how about 9? Is it divisible by 9? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Yes, because if we add up 9 plus 0, we get 9, right? Good. And how about 10? Is it divisible by 10? Cameron, how about, is it divisible by 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you know?
Because you can multiply, 90.
Because what's the rule? Just tell me the rule. The rule is if it ends in a 0. And it does end in a 0. You're exactly right. Good job. Okay.